This episode is brought to you by TABtouch. Got the touch? Download the TABtouch app today. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. G'day, gentlemen. This is the teams for round 18.
I'm trying to work out which part of our team is the most hungover because I'm fine, but you don't seem great.
No, I'm all right.
And you don't seem great.
I was just watching it at home.
Couple of beers?
I had a couple of beers in the afternoon, actually.
Okay. So, I could sense that something's coming across the
yeah,
table.
it's just the middle of winter. I'm up and about.
He's not hung. He just feels like shit that he worked here for 17 years. I've never worked here. And security almost put me up on a pedal. I get carried through on a stretcher.
So, some context. We just got a message to the group from Nick saying, stickler on the gate, can't get in through
Which
security.
is a Hutchie sounding board reference.
The stickler,
Right, the stickler.
yeah. And
then so Josh says, all right, I'll come down. And in the meantime, I said, well, what happened to your arrangement?
Yeah, with the beers.
With the beer.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be getting free access. And
Meanwhile.
And then Zave turns up and then the door's parted.
Both of us just get waved.
No,
now it's fine.
I said to Rinny, I'd never rob a bank with him. I was like, mate, the door's open. What are you doing? He stood there. Oh, no, he said someone has to come down and get me.
Well, I thought
I was like, get the through the door, mate. We are
I thought
going.
he was just letting us into the atrium.
No, mate. Like, just stood there like an absolute dick.
Yes, you're very dusty.
Not very dusty. That's unfair.
Well, you're dustier than him.
Yeah, but far dustier than him, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't drink pints typically.
What do you do though?
Like a little
Middies?
schooner.
Schooner man.
Do they have schooners at the Scarborough Sporting?
No, I wasn't there last night. I was at the Sporting Globe in Florian.
You've been going there a lot. Do the Scarborough Sporting know about this?
Well, I'm more of a midweek operator for those sporting events at the Globe.
Right, Saturdays for...
Saturday reserve
Saturday
table.
sporty. Look, to be honest with you, I went for probably 3 or 4 pints, ended with probably a 10 in front of the 3 or 4. And I remember I stood outside waiting for my Uber last night late. And when the Guinnesses started to come and whatnot, that was when I was like, no, I'm not having
Guinness
Guinness.
is a
chewing
bad-
through
No
a
Guinness for me.
Not that late.
But I did go for a run yesterday, and then I did consume some alcohol, and I tried to wee this morning. It was thicker than usual and a couple of drops. So I'm hydrating.
Wasn't quite 10 seconds.
No, it wasn't, mate. It wasn't 10 drops.
It wasn't on, the scale when you go in and say, are you hydrated? And it's
Yeah.
like yellow, orange. His was just dark red.
No, it was brown. It was, I wish it was. I wish. If it came out my other end, I would have said I had diarrhea. Anyway, play on.
It's a third or fourth time you've mentioned the Sporting Globe in the space of a week. So I'm just
think
monitoring
there's
that
a-
situation.
No, it's a Monday to Friday.
Yeah, I know
Monday to
that.
Friday.
No, I'm just monitoring it as a potential. Are you already getting something from them,
No,
or
you-
are you potentially going to get something?
No,
from
you-
them? Because this is how it worked with Single Fin.
You're just
He
throwing it
wasn't
out there
getting
and
it
putting
for a
it
while,
over
and then
partnership.
after a while. So next thing you know, he goes in there and they say, hey, heard you mention us on the pod a couple of times. Here's a beer.
Supporting small business, mate. There you go.
Yeah. First time-
56-14, 56-14. There you go. There's a couple of purchases last
Yeah,
night.
for now. This is an investment
Nah.
for you.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
just
you're
laying the table.
laying the
Not at all.
groundwork
First
for it.
time-
Supporting small business.
First time I went to the Sporting Globe was with infamous people pleaser Jake Colvin, who this was day 1 or 2,
Really
ordered a
sacked
chicken
him?
wrap. No, he left. Ordered a chicken wrap. Inside the chicken wrap was
He
a
left.
quarter of an avocado with the skin still on.
Oh,
And we said, you've got to, and he didn't say anything.
Well, I think he got asked whether he wanted skin on or skin off.
And he said skin on.
And he's the man notoriously that has a lot of skin. No more of that chat. Let's go.
did you sack him?
No,
Did you get sacked from here?
no.
Oh, they wouldn't let him in on security.
Okay, then maybe I have.
This episode is brought to you by TABtouch. Got the touch? Download the TABtouch app today. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. We'll get to our multis a little bit later on, but I feel like I've got a good one.
What games are you covering?
I did Geelong GWS.
What did you do, Rinny?
The Fremantle Hawthorn.
And I did Dogs Adelaide.
So we all went different.
Yep.
Because, I was
Now I
last,
look.
and I went and checked.
Yeah.
It was,
Okay. Yeah,
nice
well,
move
I've
by me.
learned that.
All right, tonight's game, Carlton and Brisbane. Another Blues blockbuster Thursday or Friday.
No,
night.
don't.
How
Yeah,
good's
good
this?
one.
Oh,
We
can't wait.
argued about this. We argued about this on Monday.
Is there anything more deflating? Because I love when the teams come out, right? And on the Wednesday, when the teams come out for Thursday, you're like, Carlton.
Yeah.
This is what we argued
Two
about.
or three ins, 2 or 3 outs.
Is this exactly what we argued about, Rinny, the
I
other
wasn't
day?
disagreeing with you.
No,
I was
you
just
were.
telling
You were.
No, I was telling you why.
Yes,
just
this is what we
sucks,
argued
doesn't it?
about.
By no stretch of the imagination
Carlton's
do I
different to
like
Essendon.
watching these teams.
Carlton's different to Essendon numbers-wise too. Carlton
Carlton
audience
bigger.
is far more passionate
Another
than the
level.
Essendon. Yeah.
Well, Essendon's a lot
20
of
years of it,
20
yeah.
years of shit.
Well, what's Carlton at?
Yeah, Carlton.
It's pretty close.
there's
They've at
a
least
brief
had
oasis
a
in the
finals
middle.
win from here or there.
Yeah.
So this is at Marvel Stadium, so another reason to watch. It's a 26.5 line. I love that Josh has put the line in here.
Yeah,
Because
we-
every week I say, what's the line?
Now it's there.
And it's worked long enough. Blake Acres was dropped from this
He's
team.
about the only one that's been dropped, and I'm not saying of note because he's not. Would he be playing
But
in
like
the
a
top?
He's
semi-state.
almost of note.
Semi.
Because they just those poor bastards at that footy club. The same 10 get dropped.
Yeah. Francis Evans, one of those.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
Francis,
out.
and
And
who's
then
come
Corey
in?
Durden's
Guess what?
in.
Corey
Durden's in,
Alex
and
Chincola.
Chincola. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. The 18th time they've
We
been
should
in and
play
out.
a game on Tuesdays. Who's Carlton going to drop and
Yeah,
bring in
yeah.
this week? And I reckon we'd get at least a couple right every time. Brisbane bring in Oscar McInerney. Good to see him back playing footy. And
Big O.
Sam Day out, personal reasons.
Sorry, was the Big O out for personal reasons, or the Big O was out?
No,
injured?
Sam
injury.
Day was out for personal
Yeah, but what was
reasons.
the Big O out?
He
with?
was
Back and
back.
groin. He's not in a good way.
That's why they're looking at Draper.
Yeah, I don't reckon he's got a lot of footy left in him, Big O, unfortunately. Hopefully it comes together this year. They win the flag and he plays in it. And then he does the Shane Crawford.
No, can't compare the Big O to Shane Crawford.
Of course not. Of
no.
course not. I'm
But
just
no.
saying the Shane Crawford.
we don't
where-
need- we don't
where
need
you
a
play
back-to-back
your last game and you walk out.
Yeah, we don't need a back-to-back Brisbane.
No, it's not exciting, is it?
No. All right, quickly, what are we going?
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take the line though because I do feel like Carlton's got a plucky one in.
No, they don't.
No.
Brisbane will blast their brains out. 27 points, bang,
At
done and
Marvel,
done.
Yes.
Play it on Mars, and they
Yeah.
can have 8 extra on the field.
Mars Stadium in Ballarat.
What, Corey Durden's going to bloody lock them up?
Chincotta.
The same blokes dropped every time. Brisbane are humming. They need to win. They need to win big.
Chincotta tag Lockie Neal, do we think?
Doesn't matter.
McCluggage?
I don't think Lockie Neal's a tag player.
if
If Lockie
McCluggage
Neal,
easier.
if you catch wind of if Lockie Neal is or isn't going to get tagged, I don't think he will, then his line is typically pretty small at the moment. Last week it was 25.5 disposals.
He's just warming up. Yeah. Yeah. Gold Coast and Collingwood.
This is a Friday night
Now
game.
this is a game. First ever Friday night at People's First, I believe.
Is it?
Which
Sold
is pretty
out.
amazing. People First Stadium. 4.5 is the line. Gold Coast $2.08. Collingwood $1.75 favourites. Close game. They're predicting a very, very close game. The teams, from all accounts, look like they're going to be good.
Lockie Schultz will be back.
Lockie Schultz back. No Bobby Hill still. There's Gold Coast pretty much full strength. This is a great game of footy, and this is. I heard
We're the
Lee
good- we're the
Montagna
good
say it's
too.
the biggest game in the Gold Coast Suns history. I think it is. Because if they win this, now remember we did our
There's probably some that they've lost.
remember we did our AFL predictor,
Yeah.
and
you
I had
forgot
Freo
around.
in. I forgot
Yes.
round 24,
Yeah.
which is a thing of mine. Because remember 2 years ago I forgot about the extra game.
And what was in round 24 from memory?
2 games.
Yeah,
Two
there's
games
two
for the
games
Gold
for the
Coast.
Gold
Yes.
Coast.
Now I had the Suns making it anyway.
Yeah.
Now I have them really
Really
making
in
it.
it. Yeah.
But now Fremantle goes to 9th and GW. But Fremantle winning 14 games and missing on my calculation, which would mean the first time ever anyone's missed.
It
winning
just shows
14
how many
games.
shit teams there are.
Yeah.
It does. It's also a bad year to be the 9th best team. You know. It's pretty unlucky. Like right now.
Stop defending Freo. We're not even talking about Freo.
We're talking about the top 8. Because
Move on. Get out from under the tent,
This
mate.
sort of shows-
Get out from under the tent.
Yeah, it shows how far Gold Coast. I mean, we love the Gold Coast Suns, but it shows
Yeah.
how far they've got to come. That there's a sold out game, and they've put out like 3 posts saying, "Just mate, you need to have a ticket. You can't just arrive
You're
here."
not crediting Gold Coast for this, are you?
No, it's definitely because
It's
Collingwood,
Collingwood
are
on
on school holidays. Yeah, I know.
yes.
But
But
like that's what I'm saying. It's because they need to let their fans know you can't just come here and just like get
normally
in.
they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
"What,
They just
should we
rock
go to
up.
Yeah,
footy?"
shit, the
Yeah.
8 people that go on a
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
wander into
It'd
people's
be
first.
like us going to a waffle game. Should we
Yeah.
go to a waffle?
Yeah,
and
let's
you don't
go,
have
yeah.
to think about the tickets.
Oh, and then you get there and it's sold out. You go,
Yeah,
what's happened
excuse
here?
me.
Well, normally at the waffle, they just wave you through.
Yeah.
Your ticket? No, I just go in.
No, they charge you, and it should be free entry. Collingwood win that game. I'm not overly impressed with the Gold Coast Suns at the moment. I'm picking Collingwood. The flu has gone through the footy club, or the cold has gone through the footy club at Collingwood, but I'm tipping Collingwood.
First time they've travelled in 2 months, and they
Yeah.
like it. They enjoy it.
Well, they play all right up there too.
They do. I'm going Collingwood.
Collingwood, Rinny.
No, let's go Coasters. Gold Coast.
Bit of definitive answers, mate, when you're on the punt.
Yeah.
Gold Coast.
We want conviction, remember?
Gold Coast.
Conviction.
Conviction.
Gold
I might
Coast.
even take him at the line to get that extra.
What, 4.5?
Bit of juice.
15 cents
A
extra.
bit of juice.
I don't mind it. Western Bulldogs, $1.58 against the Adelaide Crows, $2.40. The line is 8.5. Marvel Stadium, Saturday. This is a big game for the Western Bulldogs and also a bit for the Crows because
big for the
if they
Crows.
want that top 4 spot, they got to win these ones.
Big for the Crows.
And the Dogs obviously no guarantee to play finals, although we all think they will. They've got the easiest run of those 4 teams that are
Doggies.
fighting.
Yeah.
Their run is very, very favourable. They don't even leave Melbourne, I don't think, from now on. Maybe once.
So what I'm looking forward to, Darcy v. like a Mark Keane matchup.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Because everyone says, Adelaide are undersized down back, and they've been undersized
But
for
they're
a
Just want
couple
Mark
of
Keane
years.
to punch him in the head a few times because
Yeah.
he's gonna
Well, just make sure he knows he's there.
walk away with very short
Just
ears.
accidentally just didn't get high enough to Darcy's. Why did Kingy have it in the bloody war room? Sam Darcy could stretch out to 9.5 metres or something.
So Darcy might. Yeah, so Keane might give away 5 free kicks.
But that's
Darcy
fine.
ends up with 3 goals.
Darcy will give
And
away
we'll
his
call it a draw.
Darcy will give
Yeah.
away his hearing.
Yeah.
Rochelle out is a big out, and I mean that
Nah,
in
it
all
is.
seriousness.
Yeah, it is a
He's
big
had a
out.
really good year.
It is.
I reckon the Bulldogs,
It
Marcus
puts-
Bontempelli starting to roar a little bit.
It puts pressure on Rankin to do more in
Yes.
front of goals, which he did last week,
Yeah.
and he
Yes.
can do, obviously, but then you lose the midfield part of him as
Yeah.
well. So having Rochelle there doing what he was doing, being that creator in the
And
forward
not being
line,
greedy.
Not being greedy
many
at all.
times he's been selfless.
real
So
facilitator.
I think that's an out. I think the Bulldogs are going to win this under the lid. I think the Bulldogs will go away with it. And I think they'll win by more than 8.5.
Yeah, I agree.
You like the line?
Yeah, I do like the line. I think that they are going well and under the roof in Melbourne.
Yeah, I agree.
Adelaide are going well, don't get me wrong, but I think Adelaide need to just really hone in on winning their home games.
Well, I really think if it's Collingwood and Brisbane at the top, if you asked them who are you most worried about in that list, it's the Dogs.
I think most people are saying that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Ed
Yeah.
Richards, too. I'm enjoying watching him. I know we've spoken about him multiple times, but Ed Richards is becoming a
He'll be all Australian.
All-Australian, which is...
Yeah. And in a tough spot to get in the midfield for a first-time All Australian.
No, but hang on. We're giving the selectors more credit.
He'll be on the wing.
16
Richards
midfielders.
on the wing.
Yeah,
he'll be on
half
a wing.
forward.
Yeah.
He'll be playing at half forward. GWS, $2.10. Outsiders at home against Geelong, $1.74. The line is just 4.5. This is a much better round, isn't it?
Oh, way better.
Look how
Way
close. There
better.
are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where the line is under 10
And even
points.
I can't wait for West Coast Port Adelaide on a Sunday in the wet.
I don't think that's true. This is, of course, at NG Stadium. The
Weather good too. Weather nice.
Lockie Whitfield is back.
Yep, Hogan.
Yes, back. Cornelia, no, playing VFL again, but that's not going to swing you anyway. Geelong, Bailey Smith back. Stengel back. So this is a roaring game of footy. Is that? Oh, it's a day game. Bugger. I was hoping that was a Saturday night game. Oh, that's for our Hawthorn, of course. What are we thinking here?
What a good Saturday of footy.
Because you
Yeah.
guys would have tipped GWS to win this game when we did the predictor.
Yeah.
Because that's how you had them.
Yeah, and I'm taking them at 210.
I like Geelong. I think I've tipped Geelong. I just,
Yep.
I don't know.
Look,
believe-
I wish you all the best with your endeavours on that one.
I find it very hard to tip against Geelong, ever.
Yeah, I find it pretty hard to tip against the Giants because they've sucked
That
me in
Angie.
for years.
Last week was a bit of a tease, though. Like, that was the Eagles.
Easy.
Yeah,
kill.
but they did what they needed to do.
Yeah, it was
from
professional.
the first 15 seconds onward, that game was going in only one direction.
You can't have done more than
and
they
you're
did.
adding your two best players.
But
in
I
your
just
league.
can't.
Or two of your best four.
It's a write-off.
Yeah, I know it's a write-off. It's an absolute write-off.
Yeah.
But then Geelong also played Richmond at home.
Yeah.
That's a write-off
Yeah,
too.
true. Yeah, that's a write-off as well.
That's a
yeah,
write-off.
That's
It's a double write-off.
There's tax time. So they're all write-offs.
Yes.
Did you see Sam Taylor back potentially next week?
Which is great. We love Sam.
Significant. Really significant.
He is so important to that side. And he was the number one intercept marking player in the competition by a long way, Sam
Yeah.
Taylor.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought.
No, remember, we thought he was having an average
Yeah,
year. He was
yeah.
20 ahead of the next
I
guy.
still reckon he has another gear.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, he's been. It looks like he's been not coasting, but almost
I
coasting.
still think he has another gear. Max Holmes, 30
So,
disposals, $2.
if-
Put that down too, by
If
the way.
Jack Buckley doesn't play, because there's a chance he doesn't play with that ankle,
Yeah.
and you've got no Taylor, does
That's
that
trouble.
swing you?
Oh, yeah, that's trouble.
Yeah, that's Geelong.
Because you got Cameron and you got Neil and you got Henry.
No, I'm just worried about Jez. I'm not
Old
worried
41
about, not
goal
worried
Henry.
about the other two.
Yeah, but it's a flow-on effect.
I'm done worrying about those two. I'm worried about those two. I'm worried about the
So who
bloke
goes
that's-
to Cameron?
I'm worried about the bloke that's charging towards 1,000 goals.
So who goes to Cameron? Is it Aaliyah? Is it Himmelberg?
Might be a Himmelberg.
Yeah, could be. He's
Don't
not,
mind that
not
matchup.
really his
Ground.
normal
Himmelberg
go.
hasn't really sung from my hymn book for about 5 years.
His Himmelberg book.
Himmelberg.
He's just a go up. He's a very handsome,
A highly paid guy,
He might
too.
be the most handsome player in the AFL.
Hey, mate, he's doing the best looking bloke in his team.
Oh, piss off.
Yeah.
Finn?
No, he's better than Finn.
No, he's not.
We like different.
If
types.
I
Yeah,
wander
people like
in,
different. No.
if I'm overseas in Europe going through my discovery period of life, and I'm in there, and I go with a bit of swag, and it's a sort of a dungeon sort of vibe.
Yeah, in
And
Bulgaria.
Finn's
You're in Bulgaria?
in Bulgaria probably.
Yeah.
And Finn's in one corner,
It's a dungeon.
and Harry Himmelberg's in the other. I'm taking 2 drinks over to Finn.
You like the pretty. You like the
You
pretty boys.
do like the pretty
He
boys.
likes the pretty boys.
Tan, clean
Oh,
shaven.
what do you think Harry Himmelberg is?
No, see, Harry to me
he's
is
more
like
a bear type.
He's a pretty boy.
he's like a Marvel
Nah.
Studios. Like,
Oh.
would he?
Well, what do you reckon Finn is?
He could be Thor.
Finn's.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
No, Finn's pretty. Finn's too
Yeah,
pretty.
Finn is like one of those old like European escape movies where they have a fling with the local.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Slide in the DMs. Who would you rather? In Bulgaria.
You're in a Bulgarian dungeon
Would you rather Harry Himmelberg
on your
or Finn Callahan?
on your Eat, Pray, Love tour as a 22-year-old man. You don't know anyone in Bulgaria, so this is all bets are
Yeah.
off. Okay.
And they're not actually Finn Callahan. It's Finn Cuzzelhan and Harlem Himmelberg or something like that. So
Oh,
that
you really stretched that one.
It'll never get back to Australia.
Harold and Himmelberg. All right, Richmond. Who do we think's winning? I think Geelong. You think
I'm going
Geelong?
Giants, but wary of what happens in defence.
Yes. Richmond and Essendon. Richmond $2.95. Essendon $1.40. The line is 15.5. Saturday night MCG, and my tone has changed because I'm asking the question: is this the upset of the round?
No. And with conviction, I've got a group chat that's full of conviction. Essendon win, and they go over 15.5 points. Done.
Why do you
Yeah,
think that?
yeah.
Because Richmond is shit.
Deliberately.
They are bad.
But they're bad, mate.
Yeah, but are Essendon any good?
Well,
They
and
were
then
clucky against the Giants.
So you're thinking this is a game where like Peter Wright kicks 5?
Yeah,
Well, they
and
should win this.
Merritt dominates, and
Yeah.
Caldwell's out, of course. Durham will dominate. Look, they've got 8 players not playing that are in their 18, but I
Is
think
Durham playing?
yes.
Is he? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This is the one where I'm a little bit like I went to do it in the multi and went, nah, don't want any part of that.
Because then also you don't
Neither
look at it.
Tigers.
Also don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I like betting on the game that I don't want to watch, so I have a reason to watch it because I need to watch these games.
Yeah.
So I need motivation.
I've been there
sometimes.
before, don't worry.
Well, you've both gone to your phones, so clearly you have no interest in
No,
this.
I'm getting up Essendon from last week.
What's Zach Merritt's
So,
line on disposals?
Zach Merritt had 40 last weekend.
because he's gone back into the middle for a little moment.
So let's just quick,
I'm taking overs.
like-
Zach Merritt should get 1 billion touches.
here, Merritt had 40, Durham had 27, Nick Martin had 22, Setterfield 22, Archie Roberts, watch him for Rising Star too. I know he's in his...
I said, didn't I
He's not
say
gonna
this
get
like
the
5
headline.
weeks ago?
I
love him.
Have a look at the numbers he's getting.
love him.
Yeah.
We're automatically drawn towards Ashcroft.
But it's the type of award that your name wins the award. It's not going to be Archie Roberts. I love him. He's great. He's absolutely a
Yeah, but
find.
you say that, but then you think back to Palmer over Rioli.
Mate,
Reece
that's
Palmer over
that's
Cyril Rioli.
20 years ago.
Yeah, but it still
What
happened.
about bloody little Brisbane bloke over Bont?
Oh, yeah. Lewis Taylor.
Lewis Taylor. He did have a pretty good year.
See,
Lewis
it's
Taylor.
again. That's what I reckon
but
there'll be a case for Archie Roberts.
But that became the name. That became trendy. There's not enough campaigning behind Archie.
Well, I think Caddy's
Should we
the one.
start it?
No,
Nah, yeah,
Strangely
no.
enough, Caddy has not had any hype.
no.
It's the weirdest thing.
But
Has he been
maybe over
nominated?
East he has. Maybe, yeah, he has. Yeah.
He has hype in game. not
so
for the Rising Star.
you guys,
Essendon win by more than 15.
you're covering the line.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do
Mate,
with that
these
game.
names, neither do I, but these names like Andy McGrath, the blokes who just are average, in a good team, they'd be average, but they're playing Richmond. So they're
Professional
probably, their
football
best 5 players would be playing for Essendon.
Okay. Fremantle Hawthorn, the bookies cannot separate it. $1.90, $1.90. The line, 1.5. Either way.
Jesus.
Saturday night, Optus Stadium, game of the round in terms of implications. Because if Fremantle win this, it puts them back on track for finals. If Hawthorn win this, top 4's back in the equation and finals definite. But if Hawthorn lose this game, they start to fall back into the conversation with those other 4 teams.
Yeah, Hawthorn will make the finals. Not worried about that. It's got an 80% chance of rain too, which that'll
Yeah.
slow Hawthorn's ball movement down. Fremantle don't have that ball movement Hawthorn have.
I wonder if Gunston's playing.
What do you say?
Good week for what?
I just-
Deer over him or good
I
week
think,
for a rest?
I think Deer plays.
Oh, yeah.
And I think maybe that's why Gunston.
Didn't we
This is
talk
what
about this?
Gunston's not dropped.
Bad time to rest.
No, rested.
Bad
This
time
is
to
what
rest.
I hate.
Don't do it.
I'm not
But-
100%
but
sure, but
how
it's in my waters.
WA clubs need to really cash in on these clubs that rest players coming over to Perth. There's
yeah.
no other state that players don't go to more than Perth, and
Yeah.
good players.
Yeah, it does
Every
happen.
week.
It does happen. This game, I think Hawthorn wins the game.
He's trying to mask it. What's going on?
No. What are you looking for?
Backtracking.
Where's the tent gone?
I've never been in it.
It's a strong gust.
He's never been in it.
I've never been in the tent.
Do I need to remind you about the Ken Doll comment?
I
get a lot of
that's
them.
just an opinion.
I get a lot of them.
It's an opinion, okay?
It's
I
an
get a lot of
opinion.
them.
It's an opinion.
It just so happens that a lot of my opinions are positive
Yeah.
because I'm a positive person. Right?
Yeah.
How's the knee going?
No, just straighten the leg. That hurts.
I think Hawthorn wins the game. I think they come over here and they. Do you know? Actually, I did look the other day. I was doing some research for it, and I haven't got my numbers here, but I think it's 6 of the last 7 Freo have won, but just the last one Hawthorn won. But it was close.
Hawthorn with Pox for a period.
13 points in Tassie. Yes, so
And
that
Fremantle should have won that game too. Hawthorn turned it quickly.
true.
yeah, that was in the patch where Freo lost every game that they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, if it rains, I'm wary. If it's dry, Hawthorn win. I think they're just going to be too slick. They'll cut out Clark, I'm sure, and they'll probably cut out Sarong somehow. I
Do
think
they
Nash-
tag Sarong
Nash-
now? Do they?
I wouldn't mind that big 196 centimetre body of Nash just
Nash on top
draped
of him.
over him.
I was doing some work on him. He's a rugby union player.
Is he 196 Nash, or have I made that
Yeah,
up?
he was rugby union for Ireland as a junior. That's why he's so
What, second row or
strong.
something?
He wasn't even like a Gaelic player where he's just physicality.
Nothing more accurate too than an Irishman snapping the ball.
Do you know how many
Very
Irishmen
Gaelic.
have played 100 games?
I'd say 5.
I'm going to go with, let me go
Kennelly,
with...
Marty Clark.
No.
I don't think Marty Clark got there.
Didn't he get across 2 clubs?
Tui, Pierce Hanley, Jim
Steins.
Jim Steins, obviously.
Yep. There's 8. Nash is the 8th.
Really?
Yeah.
Give us another club.
Another Melbourne guy with just Steins came over with him.
All right.
Sean Wright.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hawthorn had an Irish kid who I reckon was going to be a superstar of the competition. He went over for Christmas and
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
come
you
back.
said that. Yeah.
Kieran Kilkenny, Kieran Killan.
You're Kilkenny. You're just making that up.
No,
John Guinness.
Someone will
Was
know.
his name Potato Kilkenny?
We'll have an Irishman that listens to this. He went back to Dublin and was arguably the best player in the competition for years.
Yeah,
The
right.
superstar of the competition.
You were tipping who?
Fremantle.
Okay, so we think Hawthorn, you think Fremantle.
I mean, if the weather's okay, I'll be
Are we
pocketing.
thinking an either team by under 24.5? Are we thinking that?
I think it'd be a
Yeah,
close game.
yeah.
either
A bit of weather.
way. Yeah.
The line will be low, though.
So is it gonna
What's the
pitch down,
over-under
is it?
for total
Oh,
score?
total points.
Because I reckon it'll be low.
Rhino's getting a bit fruity with totals.
Getting a little fruity.
Let me dive over here. Let me get right in here.
I don't reckon anyone's scoring more than 80 points.
So, what do you want? Less than 150? 75 apiece?
I would say give me what's under 160.
I haven't got that here. I can give you under 150 for $2.38. So I imagine 160 will be the line.
Yeah, I like
When it gets
that.
close, 160 will be
I
the
like
line.
160.
Well, that'll be the line. Under 160, you're
Okay.
going.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Okay.
Would you agree? Low scoring?
I'd be pretty eager to go under 150.
Yeah, yeah. I just-
75 all. I
given
can
the
see that
weather
happening.
and the finals-like nature of this game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a mini final.
Melbourne and North Melbourne. Melbourne $1.22. Now this one, we're going to get the interest of the man over here. North Melbourne $4.30. The line is 26.5. Sunday MCG, the nothing game, the morning game, the shitty one that no one will watch. Melbourne $1.22. Do you actually feel good about them being that short a price favourite in any game at the
That
moment?
makes
No.
me spew in my mouth.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I tell you what gives me a bit of a sniff, eh?
26.5.
26.5 points. Never again, North Melbourne. 26.5 point. I know there's no LDU. Sheasel has to go back in the midfield.
Has to.
Cut this up for Clarko. Get him off that half forward
Just
line.
text him and he'll call you Zav.
Never again.
Already called him
Old
Zav.
Zabs.
Who called me Zav the other day? Someone from Melbourne again.
I think
Clark, I can't remember him.
correct. Or he called him that name first and he was too scared to correct him.
No. My dad calls me Zav.
Clarko's your dad?
No, my dad's my dad. 26.5 points. Never again, North. No LDU, but I am not getting anywhere near a team with Clayton Oliver starting in the midfield.
So you're taking North at the line, but you think Melbourne will win the game.
How many more-
I have no opinion on who wins. I just know that North Melbourne will not get beaten by nearly 5 goals to Melbourne.
Okay. I
How
tend to
many
agree.
years on Clayton Oliver's deal still?
Mate,
5? Another 5?
12.
Honestly,
12
he'll be in a nursing home He actually will receive his superannuation before his contract expires.
In the year 2064, Clayton Oliver's still on 900 a year.
He'll be like that lady at the start of Titanic narrating the story. That'll be him in the rooms before the game.
St Kilda and Sydney.
Still need to know who did that deal and who said no to the 2 first round.
You've watched like no movies, but you've watched 4 hours of Titanic.
Maybe 8 times. Right, actually, Rhino's watched Titanic. Rhino.
St Kilda, Sydney.
There's cameras in here, Rhino.
Moving on.
There's cameras in here,
St
Rhino.
Kilda and Sydney, $2.40 the Saints. Sydney, $1.57. 9.5 is the line. So this is the one where I went to do the multi and bet on all my boys, Errol and Callum Mills. And then I went, actually, I don't want anything to do with Ross Lyon and other teams.
We
that
say
have,
this every week,
No,
please.
because I don't like when his team plays good midfielders because I feel like that's the part of the ground he ruins it for.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't want any part of this game at all. And I actually think St Kilda could win.
I think they can't win. I think $1.57 is great value and put it in a multi all day, every day.
You're taking it?
Sydney every day.
So
They're
this
back
is
in
just
form.
a Saints game where they don't show up.
When have they
They're annoying. They were annoying.
They can muck it up, but especially with Sydney.
You guys-
who's
They
kicking
were
goals?
annoying last week.
Yeah, I know, but
The
they still
question for
lost by
Sydney
5
is
goals.
who's kicking goals for Sydney again? And if you need someone to bail
No
you out against St
Papley,
Kilda.
no Amadi.
Let me get some.
You're right. Who's
Yeah.
kicking the goals?
Who's kicking the goals?
Big
Heaney.
H-Mac.
yeah.
He kicked,
Give him 2.
kicked 3 last week.
All right, we'll give him 3.
Don't undersell Jake Lloyd going forward, kicking 2.
Jake Lloyd going forward.
James Jordan's going to ruffle some feathers again. He'll kick 2.
Kick another 2.
They've been-
Haywood on 800,000 a year. He'll pop up for 1.
Saints lost by 20 last week, and they were annoying as much as you didn't give them any credit. They lost by 12 to the Dockers the week before. The week before
They're
that,
annoying.
They
They're
lost by
around.
34 to St Kilda, but they were to Collingwood, but they were kind of around.
I agree with you, Ron. I think St Kilda can. I'll go Saints.
Are you going to go Saints?
Yeah. What does it mean?
Do I need like the Sydney's last 4 weeks? They beat at the MCG. They pumped Richmond. Richmond kicked 1 goal after quarter time.
That doesn't count.
Then they beat Port Adelaide convincingly at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
then they fought like tooth and nail against the most informed side, the Doggies, and nearly scored 100 points.
Yeah.
Lost by a goal there, 105 to 96. And then they beat the top 4 Freo.
Top 4 for you.
Well, that's what you were saying.
I never said top 4. I never said top 4.
Finish 9th.
No, they are in good form. Ever since Errol's return, they're looking very good. I feel like it's going to mess. It's got all the recipe for a messy game.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon at Marvel.
$1.57. Chuck it in a multi.
All right, take it. No, I like that from you.
That's conviction.
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 Port Adelaide, $1.10 favourites over West Coast, $7. Don't think that line is big enough. 37.5.
Bit of rain.
Sunday, Adelaide Oval, West Coast, heap of injuries to their key players. They haven't got a lot of injuries in general, but they're missing their best guys.
Well, who's?
Yo, Waterman, McGovern,
Oh yeah, but they're just a run.
Allen.
McGovern's out forever.
Yeah, I know, but they're at the
So
start of the
Allen.
year, they've
Yeah, okay.
You can make
yeah,
an
yeah.
argument. They're
I thought you
4
meant
of
like
their best
fresh injuries. Like
6
these guys
players.
aren't there.
Like their good guys aren't playing.
Yeah,
So
they
they're
haven't
just-
played all year.
They're super young.
70% chance of rain, high chance of showers, most likely in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think Port Adelaide do this pretty easily. Do we think they can get that 37.5?
If it's
Yeah.
dry, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It feels like a front runner game.
This feels like
And Porter front runners.
This feels like if it's dry, could stretch out to
Oh
a
no,
big
it's
margin.
not the 100.
No, I'm just. I'll be checking around the dinner for 2 numbers.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
69 it could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
around
Plus
that
60,
area,
plus 60.
something like that.
Yeah. I don't mind
Minus
that.
60. Minus 60.
I don't mind that. Although they've been, able to sort of stem that flow most of the time.
Yeah, but
even
then
last week.
last week should have been
When
100.
you were watching that, you're going, "This is a 100-point loss," and they lost by 59.
Yeah, but the scoring shots were.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't kick straight.
That's true. That's true. You're the same. You don't.
Yeah, no. Port Adelaide, especially over
What's
Port Adelaide
Georgiades
do this?
to
Yeah.
kick like 4? Can you have a quick
Yeah, I
look for
can.
that?
Again, you'll need it to be dry. Not you won't need it to be dry, but geez, it'll be much easier in the dry.
Yeah, I like Georgiades to kick 4.
Kick 4.
I think Jinby will play on him.
Yeah, I was just thinking that'll be a good matchup.
That will be a good matchup. Georgie Arties to kick 4 is Rhino. What would you take? Oh, it's a bit short for me, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going
Far
to
too
say I'd
short.
want at least 3 something. Nah.
That's it.
255.
Oh, God, no, I'm not touching that.
No.
I might take under that. Can you bet on the under?
No, well, no is the answer.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it.
Georgie Arties to kick 5 is 460. Stay away.
Well, if you have 4, you may as well go 5.
And if,
Because the odd jump is
yeah,
significant.
and if you're going 4, you may as well go 10 and they've won by 100.
Exactly. Hardball bets time. Place the same game multi with Tab Touch. Boost your odds and combine up to 16 legs with a single game into one bet. You can find each of our multis under trending bets for the games market on the Tab Touch app. I've won twice. Dave has won once. Nick has not won at all.
And last week, you guys were like, oh, missionary. No, not even missionary. I was in the room by myself having a bit of pleasure time because I put Curnow in to kick a goal.
Yeah.
He was the only leg that didn't get up was Curnow kicking a goal. Kicked 3 points, I think it was, in the
Do you
end.
think they can frame a market that none of us hit? Like that's
I've always
bet that none of us hit in the week.
one of my mates, we do our multis together. And I've said to him, the amount of times we've hit no legs on a multi, we'd be millionaires.
Yeah.
Like if we just done the reverse
Flip
of
it.
our... They should give you the odds to reverse your multi.
Flip it, yeah.
I would love that. Nick, you go first because you haven't hit one.
Oh, right, we'll go Fremantle Hawthorn. So we've got Nathan O'Driscoll to get 20 disposals and building into form on that wing. Yeah, the guys
don't
on the
like
inside
that.
to get... You don't like that?
No.
What do you have last week? You had 20 plus. He's getting into form. John Newcombe, 20 disposals, and Luke Jackson to score a goal. Nick Watson to score a goal. Wrap it up at $4 and
This is
pray
a better.
to Jesus.
This is far better structured than your other ones,
Yeah.
which have just been picking 5 guys to kick a goal, because you've split it up. Two good players who will potentially be amongst the goals, a chance to score, and then 2 disposals, one pretty safe and one pretty rogue.
I needed a little bit
No,
of
I like
little
it.
bit of juice.
I
on
actually
the
like that.
O'Driscoll.
That's the best chance you've had at winning, I reckon.
I don't know. I put some pretty vanilla ones out previously. And they still
but
haven't hit.
but when you put 5 guys to kick a goal, your chances of getting
where
some.
I go.
I just like this one better. Zave, yours is
Five-
38 legs again.
5 of his 8 games, last 8 games, he's had 20.
Who O'Driscoll?
O'Driscoll.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
it's a
See, I
bit of
knew
a
that.
roll of the dice.
And I think one of them may have got injured in. Anyway, so let's go to Adelaide v. the Western Bulldogs under the lid at the Dome. Peatling, been a good recruit, just, solid. He'll have 15 disposals.
15, yeah.
Riley Sanders has had 15 disposals every game this year.
That's a good bet.
Saligo will have 15 disposals.
Easily.
He's important. Marcus Bontempelli has had Coaches Association votes, I reckon, 2 of the last 3 games, so he's starting to find form. 20 disposals.
Starts on 20.
Starts on 20, doesn't
Still,
it?
yeah.
And before even... So it's before
And one goal.
Jordan Dawson, second favourite for the Brownlow.
Same as Bont.
20.
Starts on 20.
20. Tommy Liberatore,
Good form.
incredible form.
You've got a lot of leagues here.
20. Bailey Dale, he'll bounce back 25.
Yeah, bad one last week.
Yeah, he was tagged last week.
I know, but
Adelaide
that's-
aren't mucking around. We're not doing those
That's
tags.
7 leagues.
And then Fogarty, a goal, and Riley Thriller.
9 leagues.
Yep, a goal. I'm actually going to back that.
What's
this
that
week.
paying? 15
9 legs at $4.
$4.10.
$4.10 for 9 legs.
Mate, they only need to get 15 and 20 disposals.
There's a lot of them. Like, you just need one of them to not make it.
Well, that's a multi.
That's how it
That's how it works.
I just feel like they've got too many legs.
Nah, I'm trying to hit the scoreboard. That's all I'm trying to do is hit the scoreboard.
Human centipede over there. Too many
You're going to
legs.
hit it with a rock. Okay, I've gone the GWS Geelong game. Jack Martin, he's in ripping form, playing off half back.
You reckon I'm bloody
Oh,
risky?
mate.
Yeah, okay.
Nah, he's putting up numbers.
You
Yeah.
still on your Jack Martin train.
I'll never give up. He's been in good
He has
form.
been good. He's
That was
been
another
really
good
Can we
move.
give him a tip of the cap?
Yeah, yeah.
He's been bloody good.
That was another
like
good
Jack
move by
Martin.
Carlton to make him the highest paid player in the comp.
But you knew as soon as Geelong picked him up that they'd somehow turn him into
Yeah,
a
he has,
useful
he
player.
has, yeah.
He had 25 last week. I've got him for 15 plus. That's actually good odds. It's like $1.50 something.
Yeah, okay.
He's been doing
Well,
it.
he's done it 3 of the 4,
Yeah.
but only just so. He's gone
Yeah,
12,
but-
15,
but
21.
Look at his game time. It's increasing every week.
67% last
thoughts
week.
gone into this.
He just needs to keep going up. And his first one was like 60%.
57, now he's
Yeah.
up 67.
Yeah, so it's creeping up.
I touch wood. Those calves are pretty light.
That's what I'm nervous about. He gets to 14 and then just a little bit of awareness.
Shit.
Just a bit of awareness.
He moves about as well as I do.
Finn Callahan, 25 disposals. He is in ripping form.
Yeah.
Ripping form. I
Yeah.
checked back. He had 29 against Geelong last time as well. Tom Green for 30. He gets 30 every week.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be unlucky to not get the 30. And then Brian Myers in goal kicking form. I think he's kicked goals in his last 3 games, and I love him. He just kicks a goal. That's it. $4.75, 4 legs. Jack Martin 15, Callahan 25, Green 30, Myers goal.
So I've just done a deep dive on Jack Martin, 15.
Okay.
So 2022, he played 12 games.
Yeah.
Didn't get over 15 once.
Different player.
No, got over 15 once, 17. Then 2023,
Different player now, though.
got 15. Didn't get over 15 in 13 games once.
Yeah.
Then in 2024, didn't get there.
Okay.
And now this year, we are away. We are Jack Martin through and through. 2021 did it once. Mate, I'm surprised how little he's
But
got
how
over
many times
15.
this year he's done it 3 times, hasn't he?
Well, now he's playing a place where he
3
gets
out
the
of
ball.
4.
Yeah, and he's playing hard.
No, I'm with him.
Halfback
I'm with you. I'm Jack Martin fan.
I was on to the Flanders one. I was on to the Mills one.
Yeah,
this is
Flanders.
the one. This is a value one until they figure it out. And they're betting on the calf too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bookies are betting on the calf. Okay, so you got the touch. Download the Tab Touch app today. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
All right, it's been the Hardball Gets AFL show for this week. We'll catch you next week. Same time, same place. See you then.